The Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Philadelphia Eagles. This is who's in, who's out, and everything you need to know about this game. So, the 10-3 Steelers will take on the Philadelphia Eagles at 11-2. This game will be tomorrow at 4:25 p.m. Eastern Time. It will be played in Philadelphia at the venue Lincoln Financial Field. So the Eagles will be at home and the Steelers will be on the road. So it's the Battle of Pennsylvania. The Steelers haven't won in Philadelphia since the 1900s. But first, before I get more into that, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn notifications for everything Pittsburgh Steelers news and updates. Also like this video. Now let's get right back into it. So, the Steelers, they have a lengthy injury report that just took place this week, with players missing some practices and now being listed as out for this week's game. So let's talk about the injury report for both teams, starting off with the Steelers. The Steelers have ruled out wide receiver George Pickens due to a hamstring injury. He missed last week, he'll miss this week once again. And he was ruled doubtful earlier in the week at the start of the campaign and Tuesday's press conference by Mike Tomlin, and he's listed as out finally now. Looking at safety Deshaun Elliot, he's also ruled out with a hamstring injury. He's a surprising player this season who's absolutely been going off and being a key piece to the Steelers defense, and he'll be out for this week's game. Offensive lineman Calvin Anderson with a groin injury is listed as questionable for the Steelers, and defensive tackle Larry Ogunjobi with a groin injury is listed as out. So the Pittsburgh Steelers have 3 players out and 1 questionable for the game. Looking at players who missed some time in practice, there's a lot of players who got vet days off. There's a lot of players who got a little nagging injuries but will be playing this week's game. But there's only those players that actually have the game status. Going over to the Philadelphia Eagles side of the football, they only have 1 player with a game status, game destination, and that is wide receiver Britton Convey with a neck injury, and he's listed as out. Everyone else on the main roster, 53-man roster, is healthy and will be playing. So that's the injury report for the Steelers and the Eagles. The Steelers obviously have a lot of players on injury reserve as well. Some of their top offensive linemen, things like that. They will be missing this week's game, but the Steelers just have an injury report that's way worse than the Eagles. But no excuses. The Steelers have to show up to this game and perform well and prove why their record is what it is. So, looking at this week's game for the Steelers and what they're going to have to do to be able to win this game and finally get a win in Philadelphia, they're going to have to do what they've been doing. And that's going to be hard because of the Philadelphia Eagles defense and what they've been able to do to many of the top teams. The Steelers are going to have to be able to run the ball. They're going to be able to have to do play action off of it, do those little deep balls, that moon balls to maybe Mike Williams, having him play some more. They're going to have to hit Terrell Austin in the middle of the field, have him get a long touchdown, things like that, and just hit Pat Freiermuth as well, secure, turn out Washington, and things like that. The Steelers have to start off with their run game, though, because that's what gets them going. If the Steelers aren't able to develop their run game early, it's going to be a long day, because that's what the Steelers love doing, having Najee Harris, Jalen Warren up the middle and to the outside runs, throw in Cordero Patterson sometimes on those runs as well, and just get the offense blocking, get the offensive line moving, the defensive line. But the defensive line of the Eagles is so good with Carter and some other players that they're maybe not going to be able to do that. But the Steelers have to be able to do that to be able to win this game. If it's a shootout, they could go hand-to-hand with the Eagles because the Eagles' passing game hasn't been good recently, but obviously you don't want to have a shootout with Russell Wilson versus Jalen Hurts. So the Steelers have to develop their run game early and then do what they do best off of that, because that's where Russell Wilson succeeds the best, when you're able to throw off of the run. The Steelers' defense, on the other hand, what are they going to have to be able to do? Well, the main thing they're going to have to do is stop Saquon Barkley, stop A.J. Brown, and Devontae Smith. Those are the 3 players on offense they're going to have to stop alongside Jalen Hurts and not let him use his legs to beat them. Make him have to throw the ball to be able to win this game, and make him have to make the tough throws to win this game. Even over all of that, what the Steelers are going to have to do is shut down Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley is a motor of this offense for the Eagles, and what gets them going, and he maybe will win Offensive Player of the Year. Probably, more than definitely he will. And he might even have a chance at MVP if he breaks the 2,000-yard mark and does even better as the season goes along. So, Saquon Barkley is the motor of that team, and they're going to try to give him the football, feed him the football as much as possible. The Pittsburgh Steelers, when they played Derrick Henry in Baltimore, they're able to stop him. They have to be able to stop Saquon Barkley, not only in the running game, but also in the passing game as well, because they love throwing him the ball and get him going in the passing game as well. So stop Saquon Barkley at all costs. And the Steelers have been struggling against the run sometimes, but they have to be able to do it this week. And then on the other hand, their defensive backs, Joey Porter Jr. has to go follow or at least lock down A.J. Brown or Devontae Smith when he faces them one-on-one. Same does Dante Jackson. He has to do the same. The Steelers' cornerback room is decent enough to be able to cover them. They also have players like Cameron Sutton in the slot now, Beanie Bishop in the slot playing much better. It's going to be a tough day because Deshaun Elliott is out with injury, so this is a really bad game to have him missing, especially with all those route runners in the secondary. Micah Fitzpatrick is going to have to step up even more. Maybe he plays a different role. Maybe he's not going to play as much high safety, and maybe he plays more a certain role on this team and more of a lurker. Who knows? But the Steelers defense is going to have to watch those playmakers and be able to win that game based off stopping the run and then running the ball on their own side of the offense. So, looking at what the Eagles have to do. I already said basically their whole game plan of what the Steelers have to stop, but they're going to try running the ball down the Steelers' throat competitively, and then they're going to have to maybe do some read options, run and plays designed for Jalen Hurts off of that, QB draws, things like that, QB powers. And then A.J. Brown, he was basically complaining about not getting the football recently, so I believe in this game, he's going to get more targets based off of that. He was complaining how the offensive passing game was not good, and the schemes of things on the passing game is not good. They have to improve that. So he's probably going to get the ball more just to prove a point. And Devontae Smith I believe this is a second week back of an injury. So expect him to get the ball more as well as he's getting back integrated into their offense. Dallas Goedert, he's the main piece of their team as well at the tight end option. And like I said, Saquon Barkley with all these screen passes, all these dump offs, and even wheel routes on the outside because he's someone who catches the football as well. And then on the other hand, their defense, Jalen Carter, they have a big offensive lineman in the middle as well. They have these edge rushers. Their defense is just really good. They have they have C.J. Gardner-Johnson as well on the cornerback side. They have Slay as a cornerback. They have all these good defensive backs as well. So the Pittsburgh Steelers have to be careful when they attack on the outside, the inside, everything like that. This is just a really good, solid team for the Eagles and one of their best teams that they've had since they made the Super Bowl and lost it a few years ago. So it really depends on if Jalen Hurts is able to play at a high, capable level as they move down the stretch run. I believe there's some good teams in the NFC like the Detroit Lions, Minnesota Vikings that are going to be competitive with the Eagles, but it's really an Eagles' chance to make a Super Bowl once again this season if they really play up to their standards. So, with that being said, the Pittsburgh Steelers dealing with a lot of injuries for this week's game, but it doesn't matter. I believe the Pittsburgh Steelers show up to this game, win in Philadelphia for the first time since the 1900s, and you look at this game as a focal point of the Steelers season to prove why they have a chance to win it all this season, going up against one of the best teams in the NFC, proving that they could win it with the best. So the Steelers win this game in my eyes, but let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Who do you believe wins this game? Do you believe it will be the Pittsburgh Steelers or the Philadelphia Eagles? Let me know down in the comments below. And who do you see stepping up in this week's game? I believe with George Pickens out, Mike Williams is going to have to step up majorly alongside Calvin Austin, Van Jefferson, but mainly Mike Williams will see more playing time. Also on the defense side of the ball, I believe with Elliot out, you're going to see a lot more of DeMonte KZ. You're going to have to because he's a secondary player in the safety position, so he's going to get more playing time as well. So those players are going to have to step up, and the Steelers will win this game, I believe. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below who you believe will win. Also in the community tab, I put out a poll. Go ahead and vote on that. who do you think will win there, Steelers or Eagles, so you can see all the votes and that, and your score predictions down in the comments below as well. So, with that being said, that's the end of this video, but let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and also make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn notifications for everything Pittsburgh Steelers news, updates, highlights, analysis reports, everything surrounding the Pittsburgh Steelers, whether it's even rumors, I cover it all. So, if you want to stay tuned to Steelers for everything, this is the spot for you. Like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications, and until next time, I'll see you guys all later. I'm out. Peace.